Hello and welcome to AN24 TV News this hour, reaching you from our studio. I am Temitayo Peters. Here are the top stories. Ecowas orders standby military force against Niger's coup leaders. El Rufai withdraws interest in ministerial appointments, recommends replacement. Coupists won against military intervention, threatening to kill Bazoum. Premier League begins today. Details in a moment. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, on Thursday ordered its standby force to restore constitutional order in Niger Republic. The decision of ECOWAS was declared by the president of ECOWAS, Omar Aliou Touré, who read the resolution of ECOWAS leaders on the Niger coup at the ECOWAS extraordinary meeting in Abuja on Thursday. According to Touré, the region maintained a stand against the military government in Niger and directed immediate enforcement and monitoring of sanctions on the military junta. The resolution partly reads, directs the Committee of the Chief of Defense Staff to activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements immediately. Order the deployment of ECOWAS standby force to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. Underscore its continued commitment to the restoration of constitutional order through peaceful means.
Direct the Committee of the Chief of Defense Staff to activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements immediately. Order the deployment of the ECOWAS standby force to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger.
The immediate past governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El Rufai, has withdrawn his interest in being part of President Bola Tinubu's cabinet. Presidency sources said El Rufai told President Tinubu at a meeting on Tuesday that he was no longer interested in becoming a minister, but would rather continue to contribute his quota to the development of Nigeria as a private citizen. According to report, El Rufai told the president that he needed time to focus on his doctorate program at a university in Netherlands. A reliable source disclosed that the former governor suggested a new ministerial nominee, Jafaru Ibrahim Sani, for Kaduna State, saying the president would find him very useful and resourceful. Governors from the southeast region of Nigeria have asked security agencies to use full force against criminal elements in the state. The governors, who stated this after their over 2 hours closed-door meeting at the government house, Enugu, reiterated that their commitment to forging a common socio-economic and security cooperation through a summit to be announced at a later date. In attendance at the meeting was Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma, Governor Peter Mba of Enugu State, Governor Charles Soludo of Anambra, Governor Alex Oti of Abia State, and Governor Francis Inwifuru of Ebonyi. Briefing reporters on behalf of the governors, the chairpersons of the Southeast Governors Forum, Hope Uzodinma, said the result to fight insecurity in partnership with the federal government and other unnamed stakeholders. Security has deteriorated in the Igbo-speaking part of the Southeast, with frequent attacks by armed persons targeted at security agencies, government officials, and facilities. The Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, has debunked the claim that he's planning to leave the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to join the All Progressives Congress, APC. Shaibu, in a statement issued on Thursday by his Chief Press Secretary, Musa Ebohiana, described the claim as the handwork of mischief makers who are bent on widening the rift between the Deputy Governor and his principal, Governor Godwin Obaseki. There has been tension between Shaibu and Obaseki over Shaibu's alleged ambition to succeed Obaseki as governor. Shaibu also headed to court to seek an order to stop an alleged plot by Obaseki to use the State House of Assembly to impeach him. Recall that on Monday, while addressing the crisis between him and his deputy, Obaseki describes Shaibu's suit against him as baseless, saying there was no plot to impeach him. Obaseki also emphasized that Shaibu had perfected plans to defect from PDP to APC to pursue his governorship ambition. The Federal High Court in Lagos on Thursday fixed August 15th to hear an application by the suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, seeking to halt his trial by the federal government through the Department of State Services. The court will also hear an application by the DSS seeking to appeal the 20 million naira bail granted to Emefiele by the court. Justice Nicholas Oweibo fixed the date to enable the defense to reply to the prosecution's further counter-affidavit, which was served on the defense in court just before the Thursday proceedings began. The judge in a ruling said, though the DSS application was ripe for hearing, Emefiele's legal team needed to be gallo to reply. In a fresh motion on notice, Emefiele, who has been in the DSS detention since June 10, is urging the court to quash the illegal firearms charges filed against him by the DSS and set him free. His lawyer, Joseph Daudu, argued that the DSS could not continue to prosecute Emefiele while it had refused to obey the court order admitting him to bail. On the foreign scene, the military junta in Niger Republic has threatened to eliminate the detained president of the country, Mohamed Bazoum, if the Economic Community of West African States, Ecowas, tries to restore him to power through any military intervention. The threat came to light hours after the Ecowas activated its standby force for a possible military intervention of the politically troubled country. According to a Western military officer who spoke in confidence, representatives of the junta told United States Under-Secretary of State Victoria Nuland of the threat to eliminate Bazoum during her visit to the country. ECOWAS, during its extraordinary meeting in Abuja, directed the deployment of what it called a standby force to restore democracy in Niger after the coup. However, the regional bloc gave no details about the makeup, location, and proposed date of the deployment for any military intervention force. Finally, in sport, the 2023/2024 English Premier League begins today, Friday, as newly promoted side Burnley host defending champions Manchester City. This match will kickstart a new season for the England League. On Saturday, Arsenal will host Nottingham Forest, while West Ham visits Bournemouth at their home. Also, last season's surprise team Newcastle kick off their campaign against Aston Villa in another eagerly anticipated clash. Sheffield, who moved from Championship, will also battle with Crystal Palace. And that's the news this hour. Follow us on all our social media platforms.